What's going on, guys? This is Rod with Bexar County Bigfoot. Um, Wanted to take the time to just tell you guys about what my wife and I believe to be an encounter with some type of creature. Don't know definitively what, because it did not show itself, unfortunately. But we were in a new spot, south of San Antonio, south side San Antonio, on the outskirts of the city, at a patch of woods that was pretty vast, very thick. The vegetation, the plants are a lot different than what you would see typically in South Texas. Bigger palm trees, bigger ferns, things like that were just very healthy plants, and they were big. I remember seeing that and going, this doesn't look like the stuff that I'm used to seeing out in the woods. The underbrush, it was like this grass that was looked like it was pretty dried out, but it was thick, and it was very thin, and then right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of this piece of property, there was it was like a river, and it was a tributary of the main creek that I've been doing my research in and out for about almost 6 years now. And so we had gotten a report from a gentleman that messaged me on Instagram, let me know that his daughter and her full-grown huskies were out walking around that area. There was like some paved trails, and got a vocalization projected at her, and she said it was such an intense vocal that she said it shook the brush or the vegetation behind it, and the dogs were scared. They didn't want to go back around that area. So it was pretty interesting. So I obliged and went out to that area and try to find a specific spot. I don't think I did, but nevertheless I was in the area, and came into a really big piece of property that was open, beautiful piece of property, lots of whitetail, water's flowing. There's a spring that flows right through it. It's really nice. So I mean, and there's fish in there too as well, freshwater clams, wildlife. It's beautiful. So we took some game trails right into that thick area, and we went, I would say probably about a half mile inside or a mile inside of that forested area, running alongside the little creek river. Water was flowing really nice, and we were on the outer banks of this specific area. So we were looking at some of the evidence that we thought we had found, and just keeping true to that game trail that runs alongside of the banks. And about to our right, I would say probably about 20 feet, there's an upgrade, and it's pretty steep. It's high, and there's a trail on top of that, and there's a bunch of brush and vegetation up there as well. And we were making our way through that area, and just trying to take in the sounds, and trying to take in the lay of the land, and really getting a feel for this area. And it felt like it was definitely an area where there could be some activity because of the food source, the water, the area where there's plenty of coverage. It's perfect. So, when we were in that area and we were, in between that higher ground, that ridge, and then on the banks of that little river, something started, walking on our right hand side, almost flanking us in a way, and it was just going through, some of this tall brush, some of these twigs and stuff. You could hear them snapping, and you could hear whatever it was walking. And I feel like it might have been on 2 feet, might have been bipedal. I can't really say definitively, but it was substantial. It was moving a lot of brush. You could see it moving. So it was interesting, but we stopped in our tracks and just kind of took in some of the sounds. But when we stopped, this thing wouldn't move as much. And then when we started moving, it would move a little bit. And then we stopped real quick, and then it moved a little bit, and then that was it. So you can see the brush kind of moving, and you can hear the movement. On the left-hand side, across the river, there is a spot that we hadn't been to yet, and we definitely want to go there. But it's thick, it's very, lively, beautiful area. But nevertheless, a lot of coverage, a lot of brush, a lot of underbrush, a lot of coverage, right? So we're there, and we're looking at this top ridge here. Just kind of pay attention to it, kind of just, trying to be quiet. And right as we're kind of just paying attention to that, we're just moving slowly through that game trail. Stop, see if this thing is moving. And right about when we started doing that, something, I think, threw, and I say throw because I didn't hear anything break or fall off and descend. I just heard a huge splash in that river. I heard a huge splash. Something fell or threw something that was substantial weight, whether if it was a huge piece of wood or a big rock, threw it, and it hit the water, and it made that huge splash out. When you hear something substantial in weight, hit water, it gets your attention. I heard that, and I was like, whoa, and I just briefly saw something huge just go into the water. I didn't see it, come out and then hit. I just briefly saw but it was a big splash, and that got our attention. So we froze, and I'm maybe about 6 feet away from my wife on this game trail, and I'm looking at her. She's looking at me. We're just, and we were gonna start moving forward a little bit more, but before we did, we heard a low growl, a low tone, low frequency growl. And it was kind of like, I don't know, it was either, it sounded like a gorilla, like a low volume, but so much deeper. Like I can't even mimic or emulate that growl. It was nothing like I've ever heard. And I've been in the woods a long time. I've heard bucks, I've heard them fight, I've heard, during rut season, I've heard foxes, I've heard bobcats, we don't have bears here. We don't have anything substantial with that type of weight that can give you that guttural growl. There's nothing here in my neck of the woods in Texas that can do that. It sounded like a gorilla crossed with a huge dog, mixed with like an 808 bass hit. It was just it resonated, and it was low, and it was still guttural, but it was low. It was like moo, but like deep. I heard it twice, and I looked at my wife, and she looked at me with these huge eyes like, did you hear that? I'm like, I heard that. She was like, what was that? I'm like, I have no answer. I don't know. Meanwhile, this thing on the top of the ridge is still kind of flanking us a little bit. So at that point, we were just like, okay, we're gonna have to come back. we're gonna leave now and just kind of leave whatever it is alone and just back out peacefully and as quiet as we can. So we did that, and I tell you what, it wasn't really a sighting. It was definitely some type of encounter, but I'll never forget it. It was very interesting, and we're definitely going to go back to that new research spot and just kind of dig a little bit deeper and see what we could find and see what we can document. But anyway, just thought I'd throw out this video, just kind of letting you guys know, our experience so far in the new research area, the new wooded area that we're researching now. It seems to be like there's some activity. I've gotten some messages from people that kind of know that area and have told me that they have heard other people say that they've had a sighting there. They've encountered some some weird things as well out there in those woods. So that was a little bit more confirming for us. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna keep on documenting that area, and I'll throw out some videos. I think I'm gonna try to edit some. It doesn't capture the growl, and it's funny because I know some of you guys are gonna sit there and go, well, did you record it? Did you video it? Look, I mean, my bad, I didn't do that. It seemed to me whenever I pulled out my camera, the activity would stop. Put it away, and so the activity would start. I just don't know what the correlation is, but it just seemed really weird. So I wasn't able to get a video or recording of this. I wish I did, and I wish I was able to capture it, and time it just right. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it. And to be quite honest with you, when you're in that moment, and you're not sure what this is, and it's really unsettling, I think grabbing your phone for me was the last thing I thought of, because I wanted to get out of there. And I wanted to get my wife out of there, and that was my main priority, was to keep my wife safe. And I didn't care about getting video, So anyway, just wanted to let you guys know about that. I thought it was interesting, and so we're continuing in that area as well. But anyway, hope all is well, and thank you guys for watching and supporting us. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. It's Bexar County Bigfoot. I just have a new video up. So, all right, guys. Well, God bless you, and stay safe, stay vigilant, and take care of yourself and each other. All right. Bye-bye.